Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Get to Know You. I am Yosef Topek.
I'm Eitan Safra. It's been a real journey with all of you guys, getting to know you, getting to know us, getting to know Hashem, and we hope to keep it going.
Thank you for those of you who have commented and written in. We love it.
For real, we want this to be a joint experience. It's not just about us telling you. We're a family here. I get to know you.
That's right.
So today we want to talk about. We have a nice topic: how different personalities shape the way we connect with others. And me and Rob have been talking with Pesach coming up. He's going to introduce it. We're going to use Pesach to actually connect to this idea.
Right. So when you talk about different personalities and Pesach, maybe not clearly, but for me, clearly, the first thing that comes up is the Abrabanim. You have there built in 4 different personalities. You have the Chacham, the wise son, the Rasha, the wicked son, and I say it like that. Well,
I saw the hesitance. Rob does not believe in wicked. Rob does not believe in bad. All smiles all the time.
That's right. Then is the She'ena de Lishol, the son who doesn't even know how to ask. And then is the Tam, the simple son. As I'm saying it, they each obviously have, in my mind, and in many of our
They're
minds,
all the best people in the world.
they're all the best, but they each have a big explanation. Like the She'ena de Lishol doesn't know how to ask. What does that mean? So anyway, we'll get to that at some point.
Right.
Those are the 4.
That's cool. We were talking about this, and we're gonna get into this a little bit later on. But like, how like people could sometimes fit into categories, and how like we'll get into how each category is so necessary for like the world to run and for relationships to happen and for dynamics to be created.
Yeah, we need them all.
Yeah. So we'll start with ourselves. So based on the 4 sons you just named, Rob, which son are you?
I knew the question was coming.
We're both not going to have simple answers, but you'll be here to figure it out with us because we don't know.
We don't know, and that's why my son is the She'ena de Lishol.
Oh, I thought you were already going to bring up the 5th son right away.
Oh no, there is a 5th son, but that's not me because the fifth son is the son who doesn't even show up.
You're the She'ena de Lishol.
She'ena de Lishol, just because. Well, first off, I want to say that at different times in my life, maybe even in my day, I'm a different son. But I think overall, I'm She'ena de Lishol because I just don't know. Like I don't know where to begin. I don't know where to end. I just don't know what to ask. Like
He's lying. He's lying.
Just tell me. Just explain to me.
No, we spoke about this last week. God gives us the tools because He wants us to choose.
Meaning what? He wants us to choose what?
You don't need to be told. You don't need to you need to trust your process.
I hear that. I guess I mean more. Not tell me what to do, but like explain it to me. Educate me. Like I want to know more.
So then you're not the She'ena de Lishol because you're already chasing it.
But I want to learn from everybody in the room. I like Rabbi Wogi. Again, we always talk about him.
He's here.
I learn with him every night. And last night, before learning, maybe we spent like 20 minutes like schmoozing, and he was telling me stories about his life and in Rabbanus. And I said, Rebbe, like I could listen to this all day. There's just so much, and there was so much to learn. He's 65, and he was telling me a few years ago, before he did this, he called his Rebbe to ask. And you have a Rebbe, which, okay, that makes sense. But you have a Rebbe that you still call today to ask for Eitzah about life decisions? Like, wow. So just talk. I just want to learn. Yeah. You're saying that's not the She'ena de Lishol?
I think you're the like Shehuro Tzelishol.
I hear.
Like you want to ask, you want to know, you want to learn.
Okay.
I think that's closer to the Chacham, if anything.
I guess it depends how we define that already. Like, how are we each defining the She'ena de Lishol? Like, maybe I'm thinking of him differently than you are. Like, I'm thinking of him as the Rotze Yodei Lishol, as that guy.
I'm going to say that that's the Chacham because the Chacham is the wise guy. But the wise guy's not the one that knows everything. Maybe it's like he knows what to do, how to act, what to search for. That sounds pretty wise to me.
Okay. I'll give it to you, and I'll say that.
I know you weren't going to say Chacham, but like I'm comfortable saying it about you.
I think there's just so many different interpretations of what each of the son is. Like, as you're saying it, I'm thinking like it makes sense what you're saying, but I don't think I've ever thought of the Chacham like that. And then I was like, wait, am I supposed to? And then I said, no. Like, I think of the Chacham as a guy who already knows, and he makes these chidushim, and he understands, and he knows Torah, and he can quote this Gemara and that Gemara. And you're saying, no, the Chacham is just somebody
who's trying,
who's wise enough to know that I don't know everything,
maybe it's
and
both.
I want to know.
Yeah, a Chacham doesn't have to be limited to
I hear that.
To one definition.
I think that's a great understanding.
There we go.
Who are you?
My whole life, I've had such a hard time like fitting myself in a box, and like here I'm still stuck. I thought about it a little bit. Like I still just don't think I fit. I'll be nice to myself and say that, like you a little bit. I'll have like the want to know, the desires to ask some questions. But like I think of myself as a seder. Like I'm not the one that's like the most involved in Torah, but like I'll say a nice part of Torah that I heard. I'll say a nice little life lesson, some little emotional little piece. But like I'm hanging out with my cousins, I'm having food, hanging out with the family. Like I don't know. I can't box myself.
Such a cheater.
I'm a
It's
cheater.
actually so cheap to answer that.
It's so hard
Okay,
for me.
I hear.
I don't know. Like we'll do process of elimination.
Okay,
Okay, I'm a Russia at times,
fine.
but I'm not at the Seder. I'm not going to call myself a
Okay,
Russia. Listen, I can say I'm a Chacham based on what we just said. Like,
definitely based on what we just
it
said.
sounds egotistical, but like with our breakdown, it's a little more fitting.
Okay.
I don't want to ask. Like, I will ask. Maybe a little bit of the time. Like,
Wait, Shana de Alishal, I think, is he doesn't know how to ask.
I don't know how to ask. Right?
Not
He's
that
like
he
a
doesn't
scroller and
want to
scroll.
ask. Okay, anyway, go on.
Maybe a little bit of the Tom also, like the way we were talking about the other days, the Tom is someone that's simple, that like we give him like the basic answer, but like maybe I reach a place where like I have good Amuna and like, you know what? I don't need to question every little thing so much. Like this is what we do.
Well, I think what you just said before also, you said, I'm not so involved. I give like a little, I was thinking like a simple Dvar Torah.
Yeah.
I had a Haggadah that I used as a kid. My grandfather had these Haggadahs, and he used to lead the Seder before my father took over, my mother's father, I'm talking about. And we all had the same Haggadah. And for the Arba Banim, like many Haggadahs, they have a picture by each of the Arba
Of
Banim.
course.
And the picture of the Tom, let's just say it wasn't you. Like, like you would look at the Tom and you'd be like,
Never.
yeah, like maybe
hear.
special needs, like whatever it is. So
I'm not never
in my
guys.
mind,
Made
yeah,
made it out the trenches. Mom,
in
dad, we out here.
in my mind, like that's the Tom, but it's not really. Like,
You know what? I think definitions are geared towards your own interpretation,
no question,
within moderation, within limits.
right?
But
No question. And I think that the Arbanim change over time.
yeah,
Like modern day Arbanim look a lot different than they did in the 40s and in the
I hear.
1800s and the 1700s. Like,
I think that's why it's also harder to fit into a category now.
mm-hmm.
But maybe with our more diverse
Yeah.
definitions, we could fit into some more. Okay, so
Which son are you?
oh yeah, which one are you? Let us know, or
Type
just
it
know for
in.
yourself.
Type your answers for a chance to
Win a raffle.
type them. Win a raffle. The winner will get his answer read out on the next podcast.
Hey, okay, beautiful, beautiful. For real, guys. We're gonna keep to that. Okay, now that we decided that we're versions of the Tom, the Chacham, the all in between, the Russia at times. Okay, you told me this. I'm gonna say it back to you. The question of the night is like, why are we here? What are we doing? Why is this night different? What answer would work for you? Like, what do you want to hear?
Mm.
And also, it's different. You're actually the one that's going to be answering the question. So maybe if you want to answer from that perspective or what works for you,
Can I make you go first?
of course.
I have an answer, but it might take us off. So I want you to.
I hear. So this answer will connect to like the Tom, the simple side of me a little bit. Like at this point, it's like because this is what we do. This is what we've been doing forever. Tradition is what's kept Judaism around. It's what's going to continue to keep Judaism around. And we need to do this. And it's time with the family. It's time to connect to yourself, connect with your family, relax, have some food, talk about some history, and keep the Jewish people going. That's what would work for me. You tell me that, I'm in.
Like, just tell you clearly, like, this is what we're
Yeah,
doing. This
give
is what
me
it's about.
give me a little bit of Judaism, give me a little bit of
Okay.
family, a little connection, a little history, and I'm there.
Okay. I like that. I think that's very, very clear. I'm working on I talked about this with you actually. I'm working on a thought, let's say, that I hope to actually post it before Pesach and we'll put it on our stuff.
Okay.
That there's one answer that could work for all our babanim, even the fifth of the banim. And that answer is, I love you. And I think that that's the answer that would work for me. And I love you, let me just clarify that it's saying I love you in whatever language would work for the individual person. But that's what you're giving over is I love you. So for me, I think that's the answer that would work, and that's the answer that I would want to impart to people. It's just that, I love you.
Right. So I like that. It's funny. Yesterday I was doing some learning and reading Olam Hamidos, great book by the way, highly recommended to everyone. And it was saying that like one should compliment people a lot, but it was saying that one who compliments people all the time it's not genuine. Like, they're
It loses its.
okay. So you popped in my head because Rav compliments people a lot,
Mm-mm.
and I'm like, oh, like Rav gives a lot of compliments.
Is he not
So
genuine?
sometimes when you say nice things about me, like I'll appreciate it, but take a little bit of grain of salt because I know it's
I
coming from
hear.
you. But hold up, I wouldn't just bring it up just to put you down.
Okay,
And
thank
I
you.
kept reading, and it said, but one could always find something positive and point it out, and that's what you do.
Yeah.
I think I could tell you a story, and you could acknowledge like the rough parts and say something that's true, that's uplifting, and that's complimentary. No, that's not how you use that word, but that's a compliment towards me.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. Like that the I love you is finding that real version of love. Not just saying like I love you for everything you are. It's like, you know what, maybe this frustrates me that you don't listen to me, but like I love how much you want to find the truth. Like you find that good.
Yes, that's exactly. Yeah.
Here's how I would sum it up. And I can show this. It's not I love you, it's I love you.
Right. Exactly. That's beautiful. Very well said.
Sheesh.
Yeah. I'm holding back because I want to like make my thought full, and like I said, we'll share it later. Hopefully before Pesach. But there's a lot on it.
You have anything you want to give for right now?
I think for right now, just that I think it's like what you said. Like I love you can be said in so many different ways, and everybody needs to hear it. I don't care. I don't care who you are, where you are. Everybody needs to hear it.
Absolutely.
Everybody needs to hear that they are loved, they are appreciated. I think it was last summer. At some point, somebody asked a question. There was a question of like, how do you explain, or how do you answer, how do you reach all of these adolescents and people who are going off, like how can we explain it to them, how can we bring them back? And somebody gave like this multifaceted answer, and I said, no, you need 3 words. This had nothing to do with the Arbabanim, and it's so true.
I love you.
Like that's what people need to hear. Now that I love you, you understand that, you know that, we're connected, we're connecting, we feel safe with each other. Now let's ask the real questions. Now let's get the real answers. Now let's get into the conversation.
Right.
But we got to start We got to start there.
That's true.
We got to start with the respect.
It's true. One, you have to start on the same page, and also if you start on a good page, like now you could get to the real stuff. Like you said, a lot of times if we're having different perspectives on a topic, we're never gonna really get anywhere. We're gonna just be like arguing each other, trying to disprove each other. But if we could start with this is respect, this is love, let's get down to the truth. Right. Like now we can get to the truth.
It's very hard.
For sure. Before our next question, I just want to make sure that we roll in and we roll in. Okay.
It's not an easy thing to do. Like you said, there are like this part of you frustrates me. Wow, it really frustrates. Like sometimes it gets really hard.
Should you tell them that, or should you just focus on the positive?
Why are you telling them that? Like, right? Why? They're not. Again, it depends who we're talking about here. If we're talking about like children, like why are you telling them that?
Right. Here's I think you know this, but the way I see it is that you could call someone out if it's going to be constructive, productive, but there's no room for calling people out for things they can't control.
Correct. That right.
No room. No benefit.
And today, in modern day, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of areas that you would think someone should be called out on, but upon looking further, you realize this is just the way their brain is. This is the way that they respond, and it's just how they are.
I do agree. I also think that you're a little too nice to people, and that like there's a balance. But we all have our own way of communicating.
Yeah.
Like you also want to get the best out of people.
So. No, I'll take that. Right, and I've been told that before.
You're finding your balance.
Like,
but it works for you. Never change though. Don't change for other people.
I don't even know if I'm finding my balance. It could be I'm just like, okay, if you don't like that. But no, I understand what you're saying. It comes back to like the guy who shows up at Aleinu to Shacharis, and I'm like, whoa, my gosh, I'm so glad to see you. Somebody will be like, no, you're not. Like, okay, you might be glad to see them, but you're not proud of them.
Right. It depends. If you think there's room to improve, I guess it just depends on the person that's receiving the message more than the person giving it.
And I think it's okay for them to feel like one person's proud of them. Like they know there are plenty of people that are not proud of them. I promise you, they're not lacking that thought.
Do you think that's why you always show everyone so much love, because you feel like that other people are not showing to them? Not to put other people down, but
I never thought about it, but maybe. Like I thought about it as I was saying it just now.
Maybe why not be one more, like, or just one? Who knows what people need? You're right. You know what? Having someone in your corner never hurt anyone.
Correct.
And there are other people that are going to be more tough and whatever. And if that's
There's
not you,
plenty
then
of people in the world that are tough. There's no shortage of them.
I hear it. Let's spread the light. Do you
There you
think?
go.
Do you think
Spread the
it's?
love.
Do you think it's more important to say that you love someone or to show someone that you love them? Obviously, both are important.
Right. I guess if it were one or the other, I would think showing is more important. But I think hearing it is very important also.
Do you think showing someone's more convincing than telling them?
Yeah. Like actions speak louder than words, right? Why you?
No, I think that is true. I just feel like when it comes to like I love you specifically, like that's some it takes like vulnerability to say that to someone, and like
Yeah.
that's why people don't just like drop that out.
Right.
So I think if someone says it, it's like they mean it. But I'll stick to action. I guess all the more so if actions are louder than words, then like showing love is that much harder
Right.
than saying it.
Like truly showing it.
Yeah.
Like it's easy to.
How do you truly show someone love?
By accepting them, by not putting them down, not just somebody that comes into a room and looks a certain way might be coming in thinking like, oh, somebody like that, yeah, he's not going to accept me. Then if you do accept them, that's showing them that you're fine the way you are.
It also shows them a whole new perception that like the people like you who won't accept them, like now maybe this guy thinks that people like this can accept me.
Right.
But mostly it stems from the people needing to accept themselves. But like
True.
I think I'm a little hard on myself from this, but like we do need other people validation.
Yeah, we
And we do
totally
need
do.
acceptance for sure.
Like when we see the person with green hair, because it's dyed green, not because it's dirty. Everybody has like initial thought.
Yeah.
But imagine if you didn't. Imagine if you saw them and like you just accepted them. I don't know, like, hey, cool, your hair's cool, but just like, okay.
Yeah, I think also like I'm not judging people for the way they feel, but like the way you make someone else feel is important. Like the other day I was at the beach and some I was like with like some kid I'm friendly with and like he took off his shirt and he had like some tattoos. I'm not so for them or against them. I was like kind of neutral. But like just because I wanted him to feel accepted, I'm like, oh, like I didn't know you have tattoos. Like it's cool. I didn't do more than that. I didn't overdo it, but I didn't underdo it because like especially if people are trying to be different. Like yeah, some maybe there's an argument about like what should be accepted, what's not. But who knows? We're all just trying to
That's
figure
it.
out our way. So
That's it. I think everyone's just on a journey.
yeah, so we can't judge people. No one knows what's going on inside.
Right.
We see very little. But for me, I was thinking like for giving love, like for showing love, my head went to giving right away. Like when you give, you love, and you continue to give, you continue to love. But I guess it also is a part of like accepting.
Well, the word forgiving, ahav and ohav, same word.
Oh, aha means to give,
It's ahav, yeah.
and ohe means to give. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so giving and accepting, two good ways to love right there. If you're listening, we got some good stuff going on. I hope you guys are here joining us today. All right, let's keep going. So we got to the four sons. We talked about which sons are we, and our overall topic is how different personality types shape the way that we connect with others. So let's go a little bit more general here.
Okay.
Do you think that society rewards some personality types over other personality types?
Society rewards certain personality types over other personality types. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, which types are rewarded?
Types that are rewarded are talented, smart, good looking.
Okay, so rewarded with what? Like money, opportunities,
Everything.
partners?
Yep. I
Okay.
think definitely they're rewarded with all of those.
And the people that aren't those things, what are they
They have to work harder
to get what?
to get what those people get. Like, I think when you go in for a job interview, think about it. Like, a good looking person will be looked at for the job. If you have two people who are both have the same experience, the same everything, and one is better looking than the other, who's going to get the job?
Okay, who should get the job?
It could be that the good looking person should get the job because
He has the edge in that
I guess,
situation. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
even though the edge is unrelated. I hear what you're saying. I think that originally I thought society rewards people that have certain personality types, but then as I thought about it, it's like this ties back to the arbor button. Like you have your smart people, you have your good looking people, you have your nerdy people, and like I think society has roles for everyone. And I think that like society has this complex view of what the top looks like. It's the money, it's the looks, it's the girls, it's the cars. But like maybe I'm really good at tech and like I can make a really cool platform that's I don't know, gonna stop cyberbullying or gonna stop hacking and I can get paid from that. And I'm sure someone will pay me for that. And is some person on the street gonna look at me and be like, he's at the top? No, but like, I don't think the top's. I think the top is a like portrayed image that we created. So like in the media, I think certain personality types are rewarded. Like if you're more outgoing, I think you're gonna get a leadership role.
Right.
But if you're better with computer, you're more likely to get a high tech job. And that's why I think that like everyone could find their strengths and tap into that to find their role, and that certain types are not rewarded except in like the Hollywood world.
Do you think that different personality types look at benefits and what the top looks like differently?
Then we look at them, or
No,
then
like each person, like if somebody's really good at tech and somebody's very outgoing, would the outgoing person look at having a leadership role is the top, and the tech person would look at having a job,
yeah.
and getting paid really well, and the tech sphere would be the top. So maybe they're each getting the top in their own.
So that's how I look at it. I don't think they see like that. If the tech person is secure, I think he's gonna see like that. The top person, like the Hollywood person, I don't think would see like that, and I don't think most people would see like
You
that.
don't.
No, because the way the media and the world is run is that like, what does the top look like? It's the money, it's the fame, it's the followers,
Okay.
it's the
That's right.
recognition. It's and it's false. It's false because it's fake. It's superficial.
Right.
So I don't think they'd look at that tech person and be like, "Oh, you made it." But like,
Will the tech person feel like he himself is what I'm saying?
if he's secure,
Okay.
it depends. If you get caught up
Yeah.
in the loop,
I mean, can you
no.
imagine how beautiful the world would be if everybody could focus on what their talents are and be happy with, and not care? Like,
We get the best out of the world.
yeah.
The way I see it is like, I think I've said this to you before. God made me. He made you,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone likes to follow each other because we're all chasing the same goals, the top. But it's wrong because if God wanted all us to do that, He'd give us all the same things. He gives all the same traits. And by not being myself, I'm taking away from my purpose. My purpose is to be unique. There are 8 billion people in this world, but Eitan Safra is here as one of them. And if I'm not Eitan Safra, then what am I even doing?
I like that. I think a lot of it, when I'm hearing a lot of it, also is like about jealousy. Like if you're not jealous of the person next to you because you really believe that that's for him and this is for me, then you can be there. I'm at the top of who I am and where I'm supposed to be. This guy might be at the top of blah blah blah, but that's not for me. That's his.
Yeah, we don't realize that we're all on completely different tracks.
That's right.
It's so different, and we compare ourselves to other people.
That's right.
But it's not fair. And this is why we have a guy that helps us, because I think we were talking about this the other night. You were saying someone that's crazy, like we're talking like God judging, and I forgot exactly what you said. Um, I don't know, but my point is that like him doing what he could do is equal to me doing what I could do, and we really can't compare ourselves because we don't know.
Right.
We really don't know the whole story.
Yeah. Oh, what a beautiful world it would be if everybody really felt like that about themselves.
Even within the madness is beautiful because I feel like that this is the objective truth, even if we don't see it.
Okay. I like that.
A quote that I like to say is that you got to be yourself because everyone else is taken.
That's good.
Yeah.
Eitan's got great quotes.
Please text me if you ever need a quote, and please feel free to give me some more quotes.
Oh man,
maybe we'll start posting some quotes and I get to know you.
That's a good idea.
I like.
You have a lot of good quotes.
I hear. I just have to sacrifice putting on my own social media for us, but maybe that's where it's at. Okay. So now we just spoke about how society has all these different types of personalities and goals. Now let's tie that back to the 4 sons, right? We were saying that each like person is different. Okay. Which of the 4 sons would you say is the easiest to connect to?
For me specifically, or for the world?
Both, and also rename the sons for the people that.
Okay, the
For
4
me,
sons
that's
are the Chacham, the wise son. The Rasha is wicked. Shena de Elishol, doesn't know how to ask. And the Tam is the simple son. So which is the easiest? They're all so complex. I mean, really, I'm like thinking, like part of me is like, oh, the Tom, but then it's like,
it's lacking the depths.
Right, in the Tom, like he can't. It could be that it's hard for you to feel he's connecting to you. So that's a big challenge for me. If I'm with somebody and I don't feel the connection is both ways, it's very difficult for me.
So how about this? How about instead of picking the best or worst, let's talk about each son and how to connect with that type of person. Okay. Let's start with the Chacham, a wise person. How do you want to connect with them?
The Chacham I want to connect to I guess by hearing them out and by trying my best to understand what they're saying and listening and letting them know that I hear them.
That like their words are valuable.
Mm-hmm.
That okay.
And that what they're saying is interesting.
I have a feeling you're gonna say this for every son though. So all right,
Uh-oh.
let's go to the next one. So the simple son, the Tom. How do you want to
Okay.
connect with him?
The Tom, by just listen. No, the Tom you connect to, I think it's in the words. I think just very simply, very simple words, not that much depth, perhaps.
So how are you gonna feel like he's connecting to you using your own
It's
question?
hard. It's very hard. It's a challenge for me. It's a challenge for me.
I don't know. I think you do it pretty well.
I think how maybe with a smile, with a laugh, with a shake of his head.
Warmth.
Yeah.
Acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then we got the Shano De La Soul, the one who doesn't know how to ask.
Right. So you connect with him by.
Well, let's define that. I don't think we even got into that so much yet.
To me, the Shano De Elisho can be understood as somebody who wants to know, but doesn't even know enough to know that he needs to know. Like taking the Pesach Seder, he comes to the Pesach Seder and he doesn't even know what's going on. Like maybe he's never been to a Seder before. He just is, and not because he's simple, but because that's not how he grew up. It's not
he doesn't see what he's missing out on.
Right. So he comes to the Seder and he's like, whoa, where do I begin? I don't know the Aleph base.
So, so he's at your Seder. So
right. So he's at my Seder.
Yeah.
So I'm beginning by not waiting for his questions, but just explaining things. Explaining, tonight we celebrate Passover. We're celebrating the Jews' exodus from Egypt. We were slaves there for many years. And then Hashem told Moshe, and Moshe.
So explain the history.
Yeah, simply. Not simply simple, but
story. Like tell the story of why are we here.
And on a beginner's level, recognizing that he really may not have ever heard this before.
Okay. And last but not least, the Russia, the quotes, the wicked.
The Russia, I think I'm trying not to be repetitive with the Chacham, but really I think the Russia is just about showing him that you accept him. Like that's the connection is like you can't do anything that will get me to not accept you. I don't necessarily want you to try, but there's nothing. Like you want to sit here and you want to sit here and try to ruin the Seder. You want to sit here and tell me that I'm crazy for these rituals. I still accept you.
Right.
Like, and good try, but sorry.
And I think they're trying to get like the fight out of you. Like they want you to be mad at them.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Honestly, sometimes calmness diffuses anger.
Yeah, I think totally. And that's okay. I'll give you a little sneak peek here.
Here we go.
When the Haggadah says that, how do you answer the Russia? You punch him in the teeth. So we talked about this the other night. Like, what does it mean, punch him in the teeth? I don't think it means to abuse him. I don't think it means to punch him. What happens if you hit someone in the teeth? You give him a surprise. So imagine somebody who's now a Russia who comes to your Seder and says, what is this silly stuff you're doing? Like, look at you with your rituals and your Judaism. What are you doing? And you look at them and you say, wow, no, I really love you. I really do. Whoa, that's a punch in the face. Like, holy cow, what did you say? So I think that's what the Haggadah means, is like, the Russia's going to try to say things to get to you, but just accept him.
Right.
Recognize that he's going through his process.
And it's funny because like they're showing the opposite. Like really, that's what they're looking for.
Right.
And they probably think that because they can't have that, the only thing to do is just to lash out and show that like I don't care about this.
Right. And they want you to punch him because it'll prove him right.
Right. Like yeah, why am I doing this?
But the key here is, don't just do it as a script. You have to look within you and really try to feel that.
I love you.
Right. Try to feel that. Like if you have a Russia and someone who just gets under your skin and you want to punch him in the teeth, then you're not ready yet, I think, to say this, because people can read through you.
Right.
Like, be genuine. Be real.
I think it ties into what we were talking about before. Like, even if you do feel some of the negative things, like to
Right.
focus on something positive and genuinely even express that is a really good
Exactly.
place to start.
Exactly.
Wow. And I think this ties into what you said before about, or what we said before about just like connecting with people. Like, you said like the I love you, that was your answer before to the question. And like, you just were able to explain how you could show love to like each person. And like, it's such a great lesson in that, where if we connect with people that we're similar to. But it shows you that if we could get out of our little small perceptions, we can
Mm-hmm.
connect with so many different types of people. And what's connecting with people about, like you just like explained beautifully, speaking their language, speaking to them.
That's right.
If we know who we're dealing with, are you a Russ, are you a Tom? Like, I'm gonna speak your language and we're gonna connect. And like, think about how many like relationships and opportunities that could open for us.
Totally. I'm gonna respect and I'm gonna accept.
Respect and accept.
That's it.
All right, I think that's the theme of today.
RNA.
Okay, Q&A, RNA.
There it is.
All right, fine. And we could do some little questions that we got left. Okay, because we're talking about acceptance, and a lot of time that falls into like environments and like people are like forced or pressured to be a certain way. Have you ever been in a situation where you felt like you should act a certain way, but you didn't want to act that way?
If I've ever been in a situation,
Where you felt like you should have acted a certain way, but you didn't want to act that way? Like the expectation was for X, Y, and Z.
I'm gonna bump it to you.
Perfect. I have an answer lined up.
Let's
I
go.
think I think you know where I'm going. During my Shana Aleph, I was in yeshiva, and there was a lot of pressure because I put myself in a place that was a little bit tougher. My friends were really worried that I was gonna flip out and lose my personality, so like I was holding on, like I was fighting a lot, but I was like going against the grain a lot. And this kind of ties to like the first thing we spoke about is that I've always had a hard time fitting in the box. Like I've always like wanted to be different and felt like I was different, but like whatever. There's some ego in there, there's some truth in there, a little bit of everything. But like I never wanted to do what everyone else was doing, especially if I didn't have all the answers,
Yeah.
my way or the highway. And when I was in this yeshiva, people were changing fast, and there were all these expectations, and like I was not with it. So what did I do? I was immature. Like it's weird. I had like a weird mix of like ego and confident. Like they were both genuinely there, like the insecurity, but like the ability to like speak up I always had. And I lashed the hell out.
Really?
You know this. I fought everyone. I fought everything. I was beyond disrespectful.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, I did not conform. Looking back now, what I would tell myself about my new perception is that within people's limitations, within like a place's limitations, there's still rule to be yourself. But if you're gonna be somewhere, like kind of be there, trust what they have to say, and like
Yeah.
find room to be yourself and trust it. And if you're gonna trust it and you're gonna try and it's not working for you, you feel like you're losing yourself, then let go of it. But like, don't be afraid to hold on to every little thing you have because it takes away room for new things to come into your life.
I think that's very well said. Like, if you're putting yourself somewhere,
Trust it.
yeah, go with it. I like that.
Also, like we think we know what's best for ourselves, but just as like the past 2 years alone has taught me that everything I thought was gonna happen, like kind of just goes one way or another. Like either happens or doesn't happen. Most of the time, doesn't happen, and like ends up being pretty great anyway. So like I'm learning instead of being mad and then realizing in hindsight that it's good, like just realize it's good now.
Yeah. Except this is what was meant to be.
Expect acceptance. I guess a
That's
different type
right.
of acceptance. What about you? You have anything you want to share? Let
Um,
me check on our time. All right, we're good.
what are we at?
33. We'll do another 2 minutes.
Okay.
We'll close up.
Yeah, we have to. It's 10 after almost.
Okay.
Um, hi. Do I have anything I want to add?
Or should our last question?
Yeah, I think you did very well.
Okay.
Very well. Yes, you explained that very well.
Perfect. And last question that we'll finish off with today. Do you believe that we are born with our personalities, or our personalities are they changed and shaped? Nature or nurture?
A little of both, perhaps. I think that there's definitely, we're born with certain things. Yes, there are ways we can change and ways we can grow, but who we are, I think the general who am I think we're born with.
I love that.
Yeah.
I actually agree. In general, I think that nurture is more impactful than nature. But when it comes to personality, I think that there's a nature that like we're just born a certain
Yeah.
way. Yes, different people bring out different sides of you, or different family ways, and you would have been different. But I think certain qualities just would have been there.
Yeah.
And like I think the nurture is what controls that. Like if I'm born with a lot of energy, if you put me in the right environment around good people, I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna be spreading light.
That's really cool.
But I think if you put me in a negative setting where people are doing the wrong things, I'm gonna be doing the bad things. I'm going to be at the top because I'm a high energy person. I think that that's something that we're born with, and we're born with these qualities.
As someone who's been involved in education, like that's something we always say. Yeah, they have a lot of energy. Let's channel that.
Exactly.
Let's channel it to a good thing. Like let's let them be a leader at this, a leader at that, rather than using that energy to be disruptive in the classroom.
Yeah.
So that's the piece
And
that
this
we're
goes
born
back
with.
to what we were talking about before with like the different like personality types in society. We all do have our own energy and we all do have our own strengths, and like we need to tap into that. Like every single person's strength could be used for good. That's what I'm like part of like the objective top that we said is like having money, and people just will chase that. And like
Mm-hmm.
like we spoke about this when we talked about phones. Like the people that are creating all these technologies, like they're using it for themselves. But if the people that could create these amazing things could just channel it towards good, like the world would be good if people could just tap in to like their purpose, their strengths, and figure out like how to help people. Then I think that's our purpose. I think that's why we're here.
I think we should change the title of the show here to "We Could Create the Perfect World." Come and join us. Now, I'm obviously joking, but like, there's so many things that we're saying and we recognize. Like, if the world could just be like this, and it's so true. Like, hello, if everybody could just be happy with what they have, if everybody could just this, could just that, like, the world would be great.
Yeah, but I would say me and you are people in general that live a little bit in a fantasy land.
Yeah, I'm happy there.
I'm happy there too.
I'll take it.
And you know what? I think it's only the fantasy land because we're the minority. But I think if you've seen this picture before, it's like two people having an argument, and it's like one person that's like really really loud and screaming, like their brain's really small, and then one person's being quiet, like their brain is big. It's like it's not about the people yelling at me. Like these two girls were like yelling at me about like being shomer because I'm shomer. They're not. They were like 2-on-1 at me. I'm like, you guys think you two yelling at me makes me feel bad? Like I think you guys are just both stupid. Like
Nice.
they're like, okay, fine.
I like that.
It's all about chasing the quality. We
Yeah.
gotta chase the quality.
I like that vision. I like that picture of the small brain, big brain.
Yeah. All right, guys, this has been real. It's been getting to know you. We hope you're getting to know us. We're trying here.
Yes, we really are.
Rob says it every episode, but please, please write in.
Let us get to know you.
Please.
See you next time.